Today's episode of Simple Steps to Online Success. And I am so glad you're here. I'm going to get right to it today and not waste any time with you. I am actually going to use a PowerPoint. Don't panic. There aren't that many slides. And today's topic, which are the biggest mistakes when selecting your tech. Now, I want to start with kind of, I jokingly referred to as Deanna's number one rule of tech. And this is an old statement you've probably seen before, which is fast, good, cheap. You can pick two. And the reason why I say that is I think in all kinds of different situations, we have our priorities and we're trying to accomplish certain things. We either need it to be cheap and fast, or obviously we would love it to be all three, right? Fast, good, and cheap. But chances are you get two of those things. Most importantly, people are always going for the cheap. But here's the struggle. With cheap, you have what I would call more intangible costs associated with it. And that typically means you're spending a lot more time. People look at a tool like Kajabi and they say, that's a lot of money. Or they look at hiring somebody to create a full course platform on WordPress. And that can be a lot of money. But the trade-off for spending money is it will be done in less time. However, if you don't invest the money, you're going to spend a lot more time creating whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. I want you to see this piece of furniture right here. Now, I bought this. In fact, let's show you. It's actually a very nice piece of furniture. It's a console table. Let me tell you the story of the console table and how it relates to your technology. I bought this console table through Amazon. Sometimes when you're buying furniture and you're not investing a lot of money. So let's be honest. I could have gone to a furniture store. I could have gone someplace and purchased a console table. I chose to buy this on Amazon. And of course, when it came in pieces in a box. So I bought this. It came in a box. It was inexpensive in comparison to buying a real piece of wood furniture that was already assembled. Now, as I go through this, I'm going to relate to you the experience I had putting this thing together with building out your course or membership platform. I didn't actually get a really good picture before. So you're kind of seeing it semi-assembled here. But you can see there, I've got the instructions opened up. And as instructions go, it wasn't terrible. Now, here is the issue that we have right now. I didn't have a big picture. I kind of had a big picture of what this was going to look like because they did kind of had it drawn out. They said, well, this piece goes into this piece. And I had the picture that was on Amazon to know what the end result was supposed to look like. However, putting it together, the instructions were not 100% clear. What I discovered with a lot of people in my conversations over this past week is they didn't have a big picture of what they were trying to accomplish with their technology. Because they were relatively new to online marketing, they were trying to figure out where the landing page came into play, where the opt-in form came into play, where delivering a lead magnet or putting people on an email list came into play. And they really didn't understand how all of those pieces fit together, much like me and my console table. So this is what I suggest is Really draw out the steps. And I mean, even though I am into tech, my favorite tool for this is a piece of paper and a pencil to draw out the different steps. Because once you draw them out and you understand how all of the pieces start to connect, you can, one, identify what type of tool is required. Even if you don't really know the name of it, you know, I need a form to capture somebody's name and email address. And then I need a place to store that information to be able to send out emails to people. Unclear terminology. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people, because online marketing is completely new to them, they do not understand the language that is used. And one of the biggest problems that I see is sometimes there's more than one description for an item. Like a lead magnet is also called a freebie or an opt-in offer. So people are hearing these words tossed around: landing page, sales page, squeeze page, and they're not understanding because that terminology is not familiar to them. My example with my lovely console table was they did a good job of laying out that diagram I talked about, but then they used a term like a cam bolt and a cam lock. Well, I don't build particle board furniture on a regular basis, so a cam bolt and a cam lock meant nothing to me. Because I didn't know the terminology, I struggled there for a little while, figuring out what in the world these things were and how they were going to fit into each one of these pieces. Not budgeting enough time to set things up. I usually think I'm pretty darn good at putting things together. I'm quite handy. So when I bought this console table, and actually, truthfully, when I saw the instructions, I went, this is a piece of cake. This is not going to take me that long. And I figured I'd have it done in 20 minutes. About an hour and 20 minutes later, I was thinking, I severely underestimated my ability and the time it was going to take for me to do this. Now, when you don't budget enough time to set things up, you're going to get extremely frustrated. And this applies to you if you're doing it yourself, and also anyone you hire to work on it. They have to create a whole sales page, which they have never done before, with a tool that they've never used before. So it is fully done, tested, and working for a launch in 36 hours, let's say. You have to allow enough time to learn the tool, practice, and execute. On the flip side, let's say you hire somebody. You need to give them, first of all, you need to communicate very, very clearly with them what it is you want done and have the information, everything that they need to do the job, and then get a time estimate from them and assume, that they can give you a good estimate of how long it is. And I will tell you right now, I would take that contractor's time estimate and double it. In some cases, that might be extreme, but let's say they say I could do it in 2 days. I would budget 4. The other thing to keep in mind is know that any changes that you request from your contractor is going to extend the time. It doesn't magically happen that you suddenly say, oh, wait a minute, now I've decided I want to revamp this and I want to do this, that, and the other, that it happens instantaneously. You have to allow for extra time if you're going to change something in the project. The fear of making the wrong decision. I would use free trials on all of these tools to be able to test these things out, because that's going to give you a lot more information about, do they have tutorials to help support you? Do they have good customer support to help you if you get stuck? And is the tool something that works with you and you can execute what you need to accomplish pretty easily? Also keep in mind, How easy would it be to move to another tool later on if you, for example, outgrow it? The good news is, in most cases, it's pretty easy to do it. And primarily, this might happen if you're starting out with a very budget tool with the goal of moving to something more professional later on. So it's easy to start with a free one and then move to another one when you're still small, but once you have some experience under your belt and you're able to go through those things. And that's why a lot of people that are marketers like the Amy Porterfields and James Wedmores and some of these bigger guys stay with specific tools because they've been with them so long. They have so much in the way of automations and things set up. It would be a huge effort for them to replace it. But when you're small and getting started, you've got the flexibility. Get support from that company's customer service. Just contact them, whether it's by phone, by email. The best ones have an online chat that you can actually ask your questions and see what kind of response, how quickly they respond, how detailed they are, how helpful they are. And that's going to give you a good sense of, if you go all in with this company, what kind of ongoing support you're going to get. I do have a free Facebook group for course and membership site creators, and it's called Taming Technology Overwhelm with Deanna. So I would love it if you were interested in joining this free group. If you have topics that you'd like me to cover, please definitely, you could either post them in the comments on this particular Facebook Live, you could send it to me via Messenger, via my Facebook page, or you could contact me at deannafenton.com. I would love to hear from you and hear what would be valuable and helpful for you as you build your online presence as well. We'll look for you next week at Simple Steps to Online Success. Thanks again. Bye-bye.